it's Anja here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today we are making this shopping bag here. So basically they're both the same design. Obviously I have used different cotton for each of them. This was my first one, so as you can see I've designed it with a bottom, then the netting, then a border around the top of your bag, and I have used webbing for the handle. And I have just made this one and finished it, so you can see that in the video how I made this. And guess what? There are 15 bags in balls of Stylecraft acrylic DK in there. So 15 balls, and there is space for more. Look at that. So yeah, it is a big bag. You wouldn't say it when you look at it like this, but indeed it does stretch out quite a bit. So let's get started with the tutorial. So what do you need for this shopping bag? We have got here 2 balls of sugar and cream. Now I've chosen these 2 colors because I think the pink comes back in this one, so I think it will be okay. Now you can choose obviously the same colors but also contrasting colors like the other bag that I did. And then I went to my local haberdashery and I found this webbing. I particularly like this because it's like a little bit structured, and I thought, well, even though yeah there is a little bit of purple in there, I did think it would go with the 2 colours, so I'm not too worried about it. It's only my shopping bag. Okay, so the reason why I'm using webbing is because obviously it doesn't stretch. It's going to last, longer than maybe a cotton handle, although cotton handles are less likely to stretch, and you can do them. It's just that I wanted to save myself some time, and I had seen this and I just wanted to use it as well. So that's one of the reasons as well. I am using a hook 4 to go with the cotton. You will also need a darning needle to darn in your ends, and of course some scissors. Now to attach the webbing, I am going to use my sewing machine. It works quite well to sew, crochet and webbing together. I found that's surprising that it works really well. You do have to make sure the webbing is on the underside, so it's on your transporter, and then the needle goes up and down into your crochet. But I'm finding that works really well, and it's a lot quicker and a lot more efficient because sewing into this cotton is quite hard. So that's my suggestion. You can do it by hand, but I am going to do it with my sewing machine. So that's all we need. Let's get started. I am going to use the plain colour for my base and my rim around the top of my bag, and I can see that the outside, if I pull this is the outside thread, so I'm going to pull this out because I like to, you start with my inside, so I always take the outside piece and I kind of attach it somehow to itself, so roll it round, and then I put the label over it again so it sort of disappears. Okay, what I do then is I put my fingers on either end and then you have to hope that you can feel, oh look, sometimes it comes out, sometimes it doesn't. So there you go. So that's the middle of my ball that I am going to use, and we are going to start with a magic circle. So for a magic circle I make a cross over my fingers like this. Then with my hook I'm going to go under this strand and pick up that back strand. I'm going to pull it forward, making a loop. Then I'm going to go back to that back strand, picking it up, and I pull it through. And that is my magic circle made. Now you have here 2 strands, and here you just have the 1 strand. So make sure you work over the 2 strands. Okay, you've got your strand there. And we are going to chain 3. So that was my first chain, my second, and my third. This counts as my last double crochet almost, okay? So now I am going to do double crochets into the magic circle. I am going to do 11 double crochets because of course this one counts as my 12th one and this one was my 11th, so I've got another 10 to do. Double crochet is yarn over, insert into your magic circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. I'm using American terms, so don't get confused. So I'm going to continue now doing my 11 double crochets. At the end here you will make a slip stitch, and that will make your 12th V, because that's what we need. We need 12 V's all around our work. So I will see you when you have done your double crochets. I have now done my 11 double crochets. I now have 11 V's. I am not counting these 3 chains. Okay, so now we are going to pull at the loose end of our magic circle, and we are going to bring our stitches nicely together. So you see 1, 2, 3, you skip these. Okay, 1, 2, 3 chains, you skip these, and you're going to do your slip stitch under the V of that first proper double crochet that we did. So let me just do that, and that has now created the 12th V and the top of that 3 chain, which I consider as a double crochet. Okay, so this is our first row. You will have to sew this one in. It's a little hole now, but with pulling it and sewing it in, look, you can close it up completely. Okay, so now we are going to do rows of increasing, and if you are familiar with increasing, you know that every row will be different. I have a video on increasing and the scary stitches, so do go and have a look at that because it will help you remember how to increase, but I'm just going to go through the rows with you here. So the way I consider the stitches is the following. So I am now coming out of this V here. That V is the last V of my round, so I am also going to consider that as my last stitch of the round. So I do my 3 chains up in the last V of the round, but I'm going to disregard that for now because that is my last stitch. Okay, so first stitch of the round is going to be in the second row we are going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch around, right? Because we are increasing, we are doubling our stitches in our second round. Not in every round, but the second round we just double the stitches by doing 2 double crochets in each stitch around. I will see you when you meet that last stitch that we just did here, and we will finish that round. I have now come to the end of my round. As you can see, this is the last stitch. There's that chain coming out. So that's our second stitch that's already in that stitch. So all we have to do is do that first stitch that we need to do in this stitch. Then we are going to skip the 3 chains, go into the V of that next double crochet of the first one, and we are going to do a slip stitch, and that creates the top of that chain. Now we are going to do round 3. In round 3, we are going to do the same thing, chain up 3 as we did before. This time we are going to do 1 double crochet in the first stitch. And remember, the first stitch is that very first stitch here. Then we are going to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So round 3 is 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. We disregard this one for now. So continue like this, and when you get to the end, you should be in a position where you have to add the second one to that chain here. And you finish your row the same way. I will see you when you get there. And indeed, I am indeed now in a position here where I have to add the second double crochet to that stitch where the chain is coming out of. So that makes 2, 1, 2. I am then going to skip the 3 chains, go under the V of the next stitch and do my slip stitch, and we are ready to start row 4. So 1, 2, 3. This time our repeat is going to be 1 double crochet in the first stitch. Let me just show you very clearly which is the first stitch. This is your last stitch. This is your first stitch. Okay, into there. So 1, 1 in the next stitch, and 2 in the next one. So disregarding the chain, we have a repeat of 1, 1, 2. Okay, so I will see you at the end of the row. I've just done my 2 individual ones. I'm now at that last one. There is 1 already there, and I'm just doing my last double crochet and my slip stitch. So if you are into counting your stitches, then you should have 48 stitches on the edge of your work, and obviously because you're making a circle, that should be flat. It should lie flat. For the bag, it doesn't really matter. Should it be like, you know, like this, it's not going to make much difference, but obviously we are doing increases, so we would have a nice flat circle. We are now at round 5, and we are doing the same start again. So 3 chains, forget about those. We are now starting in that very first stitch with a double crochet, and this time the ratio is 3 double crochets, so 3 individual ones. There we go, and then you do your 2 in the next stitch. Okay, so 3 individual ones, 2 in the next stitch. Once again, I'm at that last stitch where I need to add the last double crochet, skip the 3 chains, and I do my slip stitch. I now have 60 stitches on the edge of my work. Okay, we are now at round 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep, 6. And the same thing again, 3 chains. This time we are going to do 4 individual double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we do our double one. 1 and 2. So that's how we are going to continue all the way around. See you at the end. I have nearly filled the viewfinder now with my base of my bag. So yes, I am here at the last stitch, and I need to do the first one of those two in with the chain that's already there, do a slip stitch, and we have finished the round. One more round to go. Okay, so we need 7 rounds. So let's get started on that one, and then we can start on the sides of our bag. That's exciting. Okay, so chain 3, double crochet in the first 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we are going to do 2 stitches in the next one. 1, 2. So this time your repeat is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individual double crochets, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. I will see you at the end of the round. Okay, so this is the last stitch of my base. The last double crochet in with that chain, and I am going to do a slip stitch. There we go. Okay, so this is our base finished. I'm now going to cut off the color. I am obviously keeping this because we need this for the top of our bag as well. As you can see, I have been using this ball from the inside, and it worked really well. Some of them don't work so well, so I have to say this one was rolled up very well indeed. So I suggest that before we go any further, you sew in this end and you do this end as well. I'm just quickly going to show you how to make an invisible seam here. So we've got this stitch, we've got this stitch, and we are going to recreate this stitch here. So we go under there, like so, back into that one here, and then you sort of pull it slightly. There we go, and that has made an invisible end. And then we just go under. See, this is what I mean, this cotton, it's not so easy to sort of sew into. It's easier to actually sew into it with your sewing machine. Okay, right, there we go. So sew in your ends, and then we are ready. I'm just going to leave them like this for now. Now we are ready to start our second color. I wonder if I can do it as easily as with the last color. So once again, I have my outside end. I'm just going to put this under the sleeve because that means it's out of the way. Fingers into it. Do I feel like there is something here that's I'm trying to find the end here. What am I pulling out? Oh, it's not going to work as well as it did before. Yes, yes, there it is. Here we are. I've got it. Okay. Some other stuff came out as well. Never mind. Okay. We're ready. Now, this is going to be fun, I think. I think the effect of the different colours is just going to be great. So let's have a look at what it is going to look like. Slip knot. Insert your hook. And we are ready to get started. Now, start under any V, okay? And we are going to start, so pick up any V, and we are going to start with doing a single crochet like this. Now we are going to chain 8. Now the way I've designed this is the following: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This time we are not going to do 8 double crochets, but we are doing 8 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. So in the 4th stitch, you're going to do a single crochet. There we go. So we are making loops of 8 chains, skipping 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th one we are going to do a single crochet. Now you are going to go all the way around, and I will meet you when you have to do your last loop. I have gone all the way around. Oh, look at these colours. Isn't that just... Oh, I really, really like the effect. I think it's going to be really nice when it's all the, you know, the netting. Anyway, so I now have to make my last loop, but we are going to be attaching in the middle of the loops from now on. So we need to end up in the middle of a loop here to make it easy for us. So we've been chaining 8, so I'm going to chain half of that, so 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we are going to yarn over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are then going to go into the same stitch here and start doing a double crochet technique until we end up, so yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you keep going until all your loops on your hook have been used up. Okay, so this way we are now in the middle of our loop and we are ready to get started again. Now we are going to chain 10, so we are going to go up in 2s, so only for a few rows, mind you. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you chain 10, then you go to the next loop, and in the middle of the loop you go into it and you do a single crochet around it. And that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you go to the next loop, single crochet around the middle of it. There we go. And this is the start of our second round of our sides. So do a whole round, and when we get here I will again show you how to do this technique to end up in the middle of the loop. See you then. I can't believe how pretty this is. Okay, so I've finished my round here. I'm going to show you how to finish your last loop in a moment, but as we are still increasing, we're making our loops bigger each time, we are still quite flat. Okay, so this is going to be a big bag, as I told you before. Okay, so I have done that last loop. Now I'm going to do my very last loop. So we were chaining 10, so the rule then is to halve that and chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, then do 5 yarn overs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then go into this stitch here and start doing your double crochet technique, you know, sort of yarning over, pull through 2 until obviously you have only one loop left. There we go. See? It might take some practice to do that in the beginning, and as you can see, sometimes the yarn splits a little bit, so you have to take that into account. I was doing it very carefully, going through both loops there, but it does work. Okay, now from round 3 we are going to keep doing the same thing up until you finish round 9. So you're going to do this time 12 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. And then you are going to attach again to the middle of the loop. Okay, so that's how you're going to continue. And the next round is going to be the same, and the next and the next, until you've done 9. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3. Now, when you come to the end of your round here, each time, here we did 5 because we chained 10. Here we chain 12. So here we're going to chain 6, then do 6 loop overs, and then keep doing your double crochets until you've finished all your loops up. Okay, and that's how you're going to continue until you have done 9 rounds. And I will see you at the end when you have done your last one and you've ended up in the middle of the loop, because then we have another couple of rounds to do in this color still. Okay, so I hope you enjoy chaining, because that's what you're going to be doing a lot of. I think it's quite boring, but with this cotton, because your color changes all the time, it's quite nice actually, because you can see, oh, it's a different color. Okay, so you're chaining, you think, oh, and oh, it's a different color. So that was quite a nice surprise. So yes, I am really liking this bag already. I haven't even finished it. I haven't even seen it used, but I think it's going to look magnificent with all these colors here. So I will see you when you have done your 9 rounds. So here we are. I have done 9 rounds. And look how colourful this is. Isn't it magnificent? I just really, really like it. It was fun to do, but my fingers have gotten a little bit stained from the colour. That's okay, it'll wash off. Now, I have to admit, I have done this pattern before in this colour, so my original bag, but I managed to do 11 rounds of netting, but I don't have that much left, so I'm not going to risk doing 11 rounds in this one. Okay, so depending on which color you've chosen, sometimes they're slightly different in meterage, so make sure that you know, when you get to sort of round 9, have a look, see if you've got enough left for another 2-3 rounds. Okay, I wasn't going to take the chance here. I just kept going and I did 11, and then I'm going to do what we're going to do in a moment, do a couple of rows of decreases, so smaller chain spaces. But yeah, funny, strange that it looks as if I've used this up or more than the cream one, the fudge colour that I had there. But that's okay. I'm sure the bag will still be big enough with my 9 rounds. And now I'm going to do a 10th round and an 11th round. So the 10th round will be chaining 10. So we're going to do a round again with 10 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we just continue as we were. It is just so that the opening of the bag for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is a little bit smaller than sort of the body of the bag, so that it goes in a little bit at the top. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will see you at the end of the round. I have finished my round here, so this is round 10. And I am now, this time I am only going to chain 6. So we are really going to make a straight edge almost. So let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You then go to the middle of the next loop and you do your single crochet, and that is what is going to happen here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to the middle of the next loop, and you're sort of going to almost pull them together, ready to make the top of the bag, and so on. I'll see you at the end of the round. So this is my last chain 6. I am just going to attach it here to where we normally attach, but obviously I'm not doing that special double crochet because we don't need to be in the middle. And that is the body of the bag finished. I'm going to cut off this yarn. Okay, this isn't enough to do anything with. Maybe I could do a little flower to put on the bag as embellishment. And then we are going to go back to our pink. And yes, so with my previous bag, as I said already, this color here, I was able to do more rounds for the body of the bag. So it will all depend how much meterage you have on your particular color of this cotton. So please do keep that in mind, because obviously I have no idea how it works. Maybe some colors are more meterage than others, I don't know. So there is an obvious difference, which has changed my plans slightly, because I was going to have a bigger bag in this. Okay, so we've now done the body of the bag. Now we are going to do the edge, the top edge of the bag. So I am going to, with my main color almost, I've done a slip knot. I am now going to do single crochets, and we are going to do 6 single crochets in each chain space around. Let me have a look. So that's 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so divide them nicely over the chain space, and then you go into the next chain space and you do the same thing again, 6 single crochets all along the chain space. I will meet you at the end of the round. I have finished my round of single crochets, and I have done a slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round to finish my round. Now we are going to put a double crochet in each single crochet around. So chain up 3, and into each single crochet we are going to put a double crochet. That will create a nice border. I will see you when you have done this round. I have just finished my round of double crochets. I've done a slip stitch over my chain, and now I'm going to do a chain, and we want to make the top edge a little bit smaller. we want it to come in a bit. So what I'm going to do, so I'm doing 1 chain, then 1 single crochet, and then a single crochet, but 2 together. There. So you do 1 single crochet, then you go into the next stitch, you pull up a loop, and then you should be finishing that stitch, but you're not. You're doing the next one, doing the same, pulling up a loop, and then you pull through all the 3 loops on your hook. So you're decreasing your stitches. So let me just show you that again. Let me just take this away. Maybe it's easier to see. So into the first stitch, you do loop up, then you should be finishing your stitch, but you're not. You're just starting the next stitch, and now you finish your stitch. This will pull in the edge of your bag quite considerably, because obviously we're going to be reducing the number of stitches quite a lot, but that's what we want, because you don't want to sort of have that huge opening. You want the opening to be a little bit smaller. And I mean, look, here I did wrong, I think, but that, I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, just 1 normal one and then 2 together. You know, it's a market bag. Nobody's going to, you know, count the stitches even. Okay. When you've finished this round, you do another round of just single crochet on top of the ones that we've done. So you'll notice, no, this is the one that's supposed to be together. So you'll notice that you have quite a lot of stitches gone. You know, you'll have a lot less stitches. But this opening at the moment is just too big, okay? So you need to bring it in a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna say it again, I'm sorry. I don't know. This is just a fabulous combination. And with the purple webbing, it's just gonna be a great bag. I can't wait to use it. I am also going to, is this the single one? Yeah. I'm also going to show you how to put the webbing on top. So keep an eye out for that in a moment. So yeah, so continue reducing your stitches and then do another round of, oh, see, I've done 2 in a row, that doesn't matter. Do another round of single crochets just to sort of establish the edge of the border. Okay, I will see you when you, oh, I've done it again here, never mind. I will see you when you have done your row of single crochets. So after my row of decreases, I have done a row of single crochets just around, and that was a quicker row because obviously I had less stitches. Now the thing is, I've got quite a bit left. I could have done possibly half double crochets or even double crochets in that last round. So gauge how much you have left and see what you can do with it. I'll probably make some flowers with this to decorate my bag. So here we are, last stitch, last slip stitch. I'm going to do that in that one there, and that is that. So let's cut off that cotton. So basically that's our bag finished. I've got to sew in that end. So that's our bag finished. We've got a nice bottom and a good sized, you know, middle, which will stretch a lot. So do keep an eye out in a moment for some pictures, because you know how I like to do some photo shoots with my projects. I have here the webbing. Now I have cut 2 pieces of 75 centimeters or 30 inches, and I am going to sew it with my sewing machine, attaching it like this. Okay, so let me just get my pins out so I can get it ready, and then tomorrow I'll get my sewing machine out and I will finish it, and we will be going to the park for some pictures. So I have my bag lying here like this. Can you see all of it in the viewfinder? Okay, and I just simply, I don't even measure it or anything. Do make sure your handle isn't twisted, so make sure it's, hang on, I've got to put this pin somewhere now. Okay, like this, and do it like this, I think would be a good position. Okay, so I am then going to place this inside and simply put a pin there for now, so I know where it's going to go. So I sort of look, this is the same, yeah, okay. There we go. And then I do the same thing on the other side, so on the bottom side, and making sure my handle isn't twisted. I'm going to place these handles sort of in the same position as where the ones are on the top here. And yes, you would think it's easy just to get a sewing needle out now and just quickly do those 4 bits, but it is not that easy to go through this cotton with your hand needle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my top of my sewing machine has pink, and then I'm just going to go up and down here like so, and it will maybe flatten it a little bit, but I have my experience is that it goes really well. So for instance here I did that, and also I put the leftover of my webbing in between here, which reinforced this as well. So you could easily do that here because you've got some webbing left if you bought 2 meters. So I put it here so it would reinforce this band, but I'm not going to do that on this occasion. I'm just going to attach here and I'll see how that goes. You know, how it withstands, you know, because it's always good to try it out. So you can see here that there's 2 lines. Those are my stitching lines, and then on the other hand, on the other side, look, you can't even tell where I stitched it. Okay, and I think I just used black in this case, so it didn't even show up that much. So yeah, I think it works really well to sew it with the machine, and it reinforces it again. So enjoy the pictures that are coming up in a moment, and thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this project and I hope you liked my bag. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!